The first question which I am going to put forward to you is going to resonate with all of us. One concept that has become synonymous to all the women leadership or all the aspiring women leadership is glass ceiling. So, how far do you think this concept, or rather this glass ceiling, has been broken in various industries and corporate, and how far we have come in breaking that?
I think, I always felt, at least for women, the glass ceiling is something that we put ourselves, on ourselves. Kind of think that maybe we are not capable to break that, but if you look at it today, whatever be the industry, of course banking was the first, but otherwise also now in every industry women are there at the top. Maybe we are not in large numbers, but at least that is no longer there, what we used to see earlier. I have worked for a very long time with HCL, and there was a time there was no women in the leadership, all till mid-management, and there was no one else. But now if you go and see, there are a lot of people who are at the leadership level, still less, but there. And I think it's a self-limiting thing that we put on ourselves. We have this thing that, oh, maybe I'm not, the self-doubts that come in, that is also there. But I think, yes, saying that, we also need to prove that we are equal to men and not to be treated differently than men. I think that is one thing I have learned in my life, that I don't want my managers or my peers to think of me as someone who is different from them, but always treat me with the same level of the way they would have treated their peers, but of course with certain boundaries.
Okay. And that's very interesting insight. Koyelia, what do you have to say about it?
I think I do agree with her that at times we put ourselves, but not always. And there are elements where we have to push the glass with a lot of force, and we should not hesitate doing that. If we know we have the capability, it's said that if there's no chair for you, bring your own chair for the table and sit. And that's something we all have to do. Already there's a lot of competition going on. With AI coming in, things have changed drastically. The way we look at things has changed, the way the STEM education is going, that has changed. So for us to make our way to the top and increase the percentage, now the percentage is very less. Yes, we have made through, but I would say we have a lot to do. So if there's no chair for you, bring your chair and make your place felt. And we push to the glass ceilings, not just because we're thinking that we are good, but we are actually good. So that's the confidence that we have to bring in our thing. And nobody's perfect. It is said that in a job application, if a man only gets 70% of them met, they go and apply. We are like 100%, if it's not there, we are not going to apply. So that's something that we need to stop. If it is 70%, okay, I'll learn, I'll do it, but I will go ahead and then apply. So it's very important that we take this thought in our mind.
And how I see this is the fact that it's a concept. It started as a concept, but now most of us have made it a mentality. So the first step towards breaking the glass ceiling is starting with your own self and breaking that mentality. And with that being said, since we talked about men and women and the differentiations which we see, so do you see a difference in how men and women work from when you started to now? How workplace dynamics have changed according to you? With all the gender diversity, breaking the glass ceiling concepts being in play?
See, in my 28 years, I've not faced it. Maybe I've been lucky. I haven't faced it per se, or maybe I haven't thought that I'm facing it. Maybe there was something, but I hadn't faced it. And for me, my biggest allies have been men, whether in my professional life or in my personal life. Till now I have somebody who was my boss long time back, but if I am confused, if I don't know whether I should pick up this job, I know I can call that person up, and like a mentor, I have somebody to help me. So I have not really faced it. Yes, I have faced it in a way that, because of the function that I am in, I have been told in a leadership meeting where all the leaders are sitting that, you can't talk about business because you're IT. So those kind of things I have faced, but I have not faced that I'm a woman and I can't do what my other male counterparts are doing. Or maybe because of the way that I carried myself, it depends on that. But never did I feel that I was not capable of that job, or whatever I was saying is incorrect. I mean, HCL, I mean, you hear it from a lot of other people. My managers used to be scared of being my manager because I would not. I would not take things lying down just because my manager has told me. I would question it, and of course I was recognized for that. But then, yeah, I mean, we are never wrong. I've seen a lot of women associates. They will not speak up. In a meeting, they might have a point of view, but usually they don't pick up because at the back of the mind they're thinking, I may be wrong. And so I think it's how you present yourself and how you carry that. I haven't seriously faced it as a woman who started as a developer to where I am today.
And Koyelia, what do you have to say about it?
I think initially there were, I mean, even if it's unsaid, one could feel the difference, right? I mean, earlier when I used to sit, I mean, it's all men, only 1 or 2 females. Now the number has increased. Okay, the number has increased. But yeah, from the perspective of how we can change it, I think as women we also have to pull other women as well up. So if we are moving up, we pull others up as well. If we are learning something new, we contribute back to the community. So I advise everybody, join a community and support the community, because you will learn from the experience and you also give it back. So it's a fulfilling experience as well as you learn a lot. And this will change the way the workplace dynamics work. And I'm sure, I'm pretty lucky, but yes, there are places, I'm sure many females would say that they did face unsaid, but they did face those pushbacks, right? Or those kind of things that casually been said and gone, but which hits us very hard, right? Now to do that, you have to really make yourself believe in yourself, that it is not against you, but that it is the fault or the shortcoming of the other person. If you start saying that way, then you will not question yourself. So that's very important. First thing is that if somebody is saying that to me, it's not me who is at fault, it is the other person's fault. The second point is that if you ever be honest to yourself, if you feel that you have done something, at least be honest to yourself that, okay, I know I might have faltered, and it's fine to make mistakes. It's not important for us to be perfect. I'm not a perfect mom, I'm not a perfect executive, that's fine. It doesn't mean that I have to now start, feel conscious about it. Because that's what limits us. We always strive for perfection, but perfection is very difficult to achieve. So that's the other way. But I think from a current state that we are in, there's a lot of improvement that has happened. Women are being recognized and they are moving up. And there are struggles as well. So there are struggles that when a Google executive and Google AI research analyst was fired because she had pointed out that there was a biasness in the Google AI assistant. And now she is doing great in the AI, right? So she had the courage to speak up, okay? And then move forward, because nobody can hold you back. So I think that's the...
And I mean, it's such a powerful message to have, especially on this session. It's because personally, even I have a lot of mental blocks which aren't existent. The person in front of me isn't feeling that, but I have put that pressure on myself. So sometimes it's okay to be pressurized, but don't let it bring you down, is what I understood from what from the insights which you gave me.
Yeah.
And it's
believing in yourself is the most important. I mean, whether professionally or personally, you have to have that faith and belief in yourself. I mean, that makes it a lot of difference comes in there.
And I think be honest to yourself, so the fears come out when you're honest, and then you can take them off. Like, why am I afraid?
I think so. It's the acceptance about the things which makes all the changes. So accepting your failures and not being fearful about it is what resonated the most to me, and I think even our audience would agree with that fact. And talking of Google, let's talk a little about tech. There's so much happening in tech. There's agent AI coming in, there's question about generative AI's capabilities, there's so much happening around AI technology, and it's happening at such a fast pace. So how do you think you are driving or spearheading this change and enabling the world to move towards a faster, quicker and at more innovative pace?
Okay. So yes, AI is rapidly evolving and transforming at a breakneck speed. It is impacting both our work life and personal life. And so when we go into this sphere of AI become a very essential part of our life, there has to be two ways of handling it. One is growth, the other one is soul. Growth means you are scaling innovation, you are maximizing the potential of your AI-based solutions, and you are contributing in enhancing the productivity and efficiency. Soul means looking at how is it sustainable, how is it withholding the human factor in it, how is it ethically right. If two are combined and integrated well, that's where we're actually developing a solution that is not only be sustained from an infrastructure perspective, but also from a societal perspective as well. So one, have an inclusive innovation mentality. So inclusive innovation means when you're looking at a solution, see it from various different angles. Bring in diversity in the way the solution is thought through, because that helps you to have an inclusive innovation. For example, everybody must have heard of it. There are glass stairs were made, right? And somebody questioned, whoever made it, did they wear skirts? I mean, it was, you just did it. I mean, it looks good. It looks good from the visual perspective, but it's not usable, right? So usability, how ethical it is, how responsible it is, plus how cost effective it is, how easy it's to train, and how easy it is to maintain. So this two thought has to be integrated to bring that change that we are looking at. The second is embracing change and being adaptable as well. Okay, and it is so rapidly changing, we're getting tired, right? It's like we're fatigued with so many news coming, getting all the news. Today this training has happened, today this reinforcement learning has happened, I have to learn this immediately, I have to say certain things around it, post something, right? So then I'm on it. And so it does happen. But the way is, if you're not adaptable enough, then you will be lagging behind. And if you lag behind, competition is really high. And that doesn't mean at the same time you jump at every news that comes out. So one has to be really pragmatic in their approach, like how you want to approach it, and what is your skill set that you want to looking out for. If you are more into sustainability, then follow that line. If you're more into core development, follow that line. But find out what's your sweet spot is. And third, I will keep on saying, contribute back to your community, join community, and give it back, because that's how you get back in return. I think this is how I do it.
And what about you, Arpita?
So I have a little bit of a different perspective, because I mean, on one side I have you who are providing solution to me, and on the other side I need to provide solution to my organization, right? So when we look at Gen AI as a CIO or the head of technology in an organization, we look at it from the point of view of where our organization is, because Gen AI for the sake of Gen AI does not serve my purpose. Because unlike, say, a consulting firm or a development agency, we have to live with it. We have to ensure that whatever the ROIs that have been committed to my business, I'm able to meet with the AI or to Gen AI solution that has come out. So for us, the first thing that we look at is where our organization is and where do they want to go, and then create those sweet spots, as we call them, and work on it incrementally. Because today, I mean, I'm coming from an industry which is very, very restricted. You won't find too many women in that industry at all, right? So to drive any kind of change there, we have to take into account that my users are all people from villages. They do not, some of them can't read and write. So what Gen AI I am talking about, right? So then we have to look at ways and means of what is it that I can do to make them adopt that technology. So my question would be, how is technology going to make the life easier for my users? Right? So, I mean, I've seen a lot of my peers who jump at any new technology which comes out and they want to implement and be the first in the industry. I am a little pessimist here because technology for the sake of technology does not help any organization unless it is aligned to the business goals of the organization and the organization's aspirations. Like we talk about, Industry 5, which is breaking the barrier between human and machine. We talk about connected workers and all of this. But that is only possible if my workforce is at that level. Right? We have done a lot of innovations as a smart factory in all our factories. We have like 28 factories. But those workers, we have put things wherein the video analytics helps them to identify what is the quality of this particular bottle, or there is a speed at which the bottles are getting washed. Is it getting washed in the right way? For a user who is using this, who is standing on the assembly line, I can't give them a screen which has words written in English or Hindi or local language because he cannot read. So whenever we look at certain things, first thing that I tell my team is that we are solving for things for dummies. It has to be usable by the people who are there at the shop floor, and we have to bring out the efficiencies or the productivities that is going to be there, because there's always a resistance for any change, especially with Gen AI, people start thinking that, oh, Gen AI is coming, my job is going to go. Maybe it will be jobs which are very repetitive or does not require too much of a thinking, but that human element is required wherein you need to take a decision. The machine will give you the various things that are there, options that are there, but that learning that you have, the tribal knowledge that is there, that is absolutely required. So that's how I look at Gen AI and how it affects our kind of industry, or any industry for that matter.
Right. And I mean, how I see it is the fact that we only talk about data maturity in terms of companies, right? Or in terms of corporate or industries we are working in. But data maturity, more than concept, should ideally be a mentality, because we are not only targeting learned people, we also, being in a diverse country or working in diverse countries per se, means we are going to encounter people from all level of educations and all level of expertise. So that's very helpful insight, Koyelia and Arpita, that it's not just jumping first onto the technology which we have, but also having a user-centric and responsible approach to what we do. Having that is really important, and I think so that really changes the perspective which I have, because usually what the perspective I had was data maturity in corporate, new technology, jump first, competitive advantage. But I think so that ceiling has been broken for me today, and that's what we are here for. So with that being said, we are going to transition into the fun element of the session, which is the rapid fire round. So how this is going to work is, I'm going to ask alternate questions to both of you, and then, as said, it should be rapid and full of fire, if possible. So
You're burning.
So Arpita, one word that describes your leadership style. Sorry, Arpita, my bad.
I think I'm a people's person, so I like to listen to all the diverse views of my team and then take the team along.
Right. Koyelia, one tech misperception that got shattered for you.
Take perception that was shattered.
Yeah.
That's a difficult question. I could say one, but confirm. What was shattered?
Or maybe a misconception which you encountered recently.
I would say learn, unlearn, and learn again. Because everything we're learning is getting unlearned the next day. And we are learning again.
Yes. Arpita, a skill that women in tech, or for that sake even men, or anybody in tech should develop.
Should develop, I think, user centricity.
Perfect. And my last question to you, Koyelia, one word to describe the future of women in tech.
Go girl.
Love it. I love it. So with that, we are going to open the forum for the audience, and we had a lot of questions coming in for you both, But considering the time constraint we are in, we have chosen 4 questions from each location, and we are open. The first question is going to be from Shubhika.
Hi. So I'm a new mom, and all I can think of right now is to ask you how did you cross this phase of your life, and like time is a big issue right now. So how do I upskill myself and get where I want to be?
I think she's already answered it in terms of you cannot be a perfect mom.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you cannot do. Okay, and I'm saying this because my children are only 22 months apart.
Oh.
And I was a consultant traveling 22 days a month,
Okay.
right from the time they were 6 months old.
Okay. That's
So
tough.
don't get bogged down by the fact that guilt feeling, forget
Yes.
it. There is no guilt. Right? And secondly, you cannot be perfect. And I think the third biggest lesson is take time for yourself. You need to kind of, align yourself, center yourself so that you can be the person that you think you would be to your family as well as to your, to the office.
I actually really resonate with what she said, Arpita, is that find out time for yourself. That's very important.
That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing,
No,
but
it's
you
not.
have to find it out. And the best part, whenever you get time, you spend time with your kid because it gives you a lot of energy back.
Yes.
It gives you a lot of happiness back. And if that means that there might be some timelines that have to be done, trust me, later on you will not regret them. But if you have actually pushed yourself to meet the timelines and as you miss certain thing of your kid,
Yeah.
that guilt feeling remains. You don't remember at that time that what was the case for which I actually left it, right?
Yeah.
But again, as she said, find out time for yourself. That's very important to gain your energy back.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And the guilt trip, forget it. Your family will give it. You yourself will give yourself back. Don't do it.
I mean, I can't relate to it right now. I hope, Shubhika, that helps you.
Yeah, that does. We all know the answers, but still, like, hearing from somebody just reinforces the
Yeah,
answer.
reinforcement learning.
Okay, so up next we have Benazir from Kolkata location.
Hi, thank you for this session, and all of us are sitting together. It's very inspiring. So I just wanted to ask both of you one question. So if you can go back to your younger self, who is just starting to enter into tech, what advice would you give her?
One advice for your younger self.
Nothing. That I would say just be yourself and have that your purpose. At least at that point of time, imagine where you want to be and keep on changing that. And the reason I'm saying it is because I myself was very, very confused growing up. Okay, and if you see my education background, I did my BSc in economics, then I did my MCA in then I joined somewhere as a developer. But then over a period of time, start refining and defining yourself. That where is it and where do I want to be? Okay, that I think is very important.
So from a techie perspective, okay, I'm talking from a techie perspective, join hackathons. That's the best way you can learn what's going on around the entire world and get yourself hands-on, and you can also get to know what inspires you. And when you work in a hackathon, you get teamwork, you get knowledge, you get leadership skills, you get a lot of skills. So I would have actually joined hackathons to enhance myself. I would have done that practically, tactically speaking.
Perfect. Benazir, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next, we have Pooja from Mumbai.
Hello everyone. So the question which I would like to ask you is that what is the short-term and long-term trend in terms of technology that you feel that shaping your industry? and how we can prepare, like how you can prepare for that yourself as well as your team.
Good question. Okay, short term and long term. What perspective? What technology overall? So I would say the world is going breakneck speed, and we all understand it will fall somewhere. I was going at 2% the speed. So two things: always understand the fundamentals. Very important to know the fundamentals, not the flops and all that. Okay, don't go with you should know what TensorFlow is, you should know what PyTorch is, and then you should go for all those kind of trainings and all. So the basics, the fundamentals has to be really good. From an industry perspective, obviously 2025 is known to be for agentic AI, right? And long-term perspective, everybody knows that it's quantum computing in combination with generative AI and agentic AI that will take forward. And quantization of models is also be coming through, right? So long term, and again speaking from complete techie thing, okay. One is that long term quantum computing in association with agentic AI, and short term is agentic AI. But from a personal side, get the basics right. Fundamentals is the most important part that we have to get it right, and then on top of that, we start building all the new advancements that are coming in.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, Pooja. Thank you so much for sending your question all the way from Mumbai. And then up next we have Hemrita from Bangalore. Who also, by the way, is AVP at Polestar. So we are really honored to have you with us, Hemrita.
Hema ma'am, I think you're speaking on mute. I'm not sure.
Okay, oh, sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah. So good afternoon, Koyelia and Arpita, and very inspiring journey I could hear from both of you. Really, really proud of you guys. And I have two questions basically. You are already in leadership roles with a lot of responsibilities. As I have very younger women in this forum, how do you handle stress basically with juggling between the personal as well as, I know somebody asked about how do you balance your work and juggling all kind of roles, right, from various both in the personal as well as on the professional front. Second one is, now as we have many younger women in this forum who wanted to grow on the ladder into the leadership roles, what is your success mantra and what advice do you give to these ladies in the room basically?
So the way I keep center myself, as I always say that I'm centering myself, is I have hobbies. I mean, I've recently 5 years back picked up Kathak, which I'm learning. So these are the ways I kind of keep myself away from work and my household things. So that is my time. It's one hour in a week for 2 hours I can of course give to myself. Okay. And the second thing that also helps me is, I have the habit of shutting off everything when I want to, because when I see a lot of stress coming, and especially if you have to understand, as a CIO, our job is to keep the lights on. In today's world, a truck is standing at the dispatch is not happening because the network link is down, and we are almost 24/7 on call, right? So the stress levels are a little higher. So when that happens, when I see that I'm losing my sanity, I just shut off everything and perhaps get somewhere, maybe go even to the parlor also, get a facial.
That's my personal favorite.
So yeah, but then take out that time, even during the day after you put your kids on, to sleep, or you finished all your other things, watch the Netflix and all of that, have some 15-20 minutes of time just for yourself, where you can just blank out everything else that is there, playing in our mind. And I know, because I've been a developer and gone through this thing of from developer to a CIO, even if when we are sleeping, it's there at the back of our mind if there was a bug.
Yeah.
Right? So you need that 15-20 minutes to calm yourself, get out of everything, and then go to sleep. And I think that is very important. You're putting yourself first is important. And as women, and when Indian women, we are never taught this. We are never ever told that you are important. But believe you and me, being a single mom, I believe you are important. And if I can do it, all of you can take that time. 15-20 minutes is not a big time. New mom, look for a support system so that you have that 1 hour to yourself. Ask for support. It is never wrong to ask for support, whether professionally or personally. I mean, we as women usually think that, oh no, I can't ask somebody to help me out. It is my duty. Nothing is your duty. Your duty is to yourself first. And I think that's my two bits on what is the advice that I can give.
This is amazing. I mean, it's really cutting through. It's actually cutting through. You're absolutely right. I think the one thing that we as women have to dissociate ourselves, which we don't. We carry residuals with us, and we carry it throughout, and we keep thinking about it, and that's the big. I mean, I'm also a victim of it, right? So I have to struggle, but I think that's what we should actually start developing in a very young. How do I dissociate myself from every other thing, and not make it a judging factor for me? Because that, oh, I'm a loser, I didn't do this kind of thing. Oh, I'm still in here, why am I here? So everybody's moving around, right? So to have that dissociation is very, very important for us to have less stress in our life. There will be situations, there will be situations when there will be real stress, which we cannot avoid. And others, I think it's best that we put aside. We need that mental strength to face those stresses, right?
I mean, that's very true. As a future mom myself, I think so. I think so. These advices are really going to help me a lot. And yes, with that, we come to a really, really insightful sessions. And thank you so much, Arpita and Koyelia, for sharing your stories with us. Trust me, especially for the audience which we have, all of us are climbing the ladders at different paces and at different statures towards leadership. And when we see someone who's already there making it through, it just ignites a trust and hope in us. That yes, if you can do it, even we can do it. And it's that hope that these with sessions is all about. That instilling and inspiring women. And even if what I have to say to you guys and to audience is that even if you take a small step towards inspiring not anybody else but even yourself, even that small step matters, because if you are contributing to yourself, you don't know, but you are also contributing towards the industry and towards the space you are in. Because directly, indirectly, we as women are a pivotal factor, and we are at the center of so many things, especially Indian women. We are also at home, we are also at work, we also have us to look after. And trust me, it's a very difficult job if it's me. So with that being said, thank you so much. I mean, personally, this was much needed for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I want to thank everybody, you as well. It was really nice interacting with all of you.
Same here.
So with that, we have a special message for all of us in this room. Our fellow with speakers and initiators have sent their messages from all around the globe, and let's see what they have to say to us.
Happy International Women's Day, a message to the emerging leaders. Your voice matters. Your vision is powerful, and your journey is one of impact. Surround yourself with mentors and sponsors who believe in your potential, and never underestimate the power to lift others up as you rise.
To every woman with a dream, lead with confidence. Trust your voice, even when the world tells you to whisper. Lift others as you rise, because true leadership is not about standing alone, but bringing others with you. And never let doubt silence you. Your ideas, your strength, your presence matters more than you know. This is your time. Step forward, own your power, and change the world. You got this.
On this special day, for all women working to break barriers and looking forward becoming authentic leaders, I wanted to share the following piece of advice. Embrace your unique strengths, stay resilient in the face of adversity, and never underestimate the power of your voice and vision.
Please remember, no matter how daunting the challenge might seem in front of you, that resilience and persistence are key. Every journey starts out with a single step, and each step, one after the other, will ultimately get you to your destination.
For International Women's Day, I have one piece of advice for you. Throw work-life balance out the window this year and instead focus on understanding what your true emotionally connected why is. What is your driving factor each and every day? And then tie your priorities to that.
In the case of you, the women in tech, you are pioneers. Your voice are bringing a fresh perspective how we can evolve in that field. Your perseverance are breaking down barriers. And for others, your curiosity drives innovation. You are the proof that tech is more than code and circuits. It's about heart, it's about vision, it's about the power to change lives. Let's today be a reminder. You belong here, you inspire us, and the future is brighter because all of you girls. Happy International Women's Day.